Hello and welcome back to the Content Cone podcast. I am your host, Fallon. It's like Jimmy Fallon, but it's my first name. And today, I want to talk about content creation. I get that I talk about content a lot, and I know that this podcast, technically is mostly more about, content and how content plays into your business. But I really want to just, jam out really quick on content creation and some of the beliefs associated with content creation and what is actually holding you back and what you could do to even start to take steps forward. So I actually had a previous client and longtime friend tell me over the phone that she doesn't have enough time to create content. And to that I say, haha. And not haha in I'm laughing at you kind of way, but haha in such a way that you actually do have plenty of time to create content. And the reason you believe that you don't is because you're too busy consuming content from other people. So I'm going to back up for a second, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview as to what the hell's going on, even when I'm recording this podcast right now. I'm driving my fucking car, I'm holding my phone, and I'm recording on my voice memo app. Okay? It's really nothing fancy. Do I have a podcast mic? Yes, I do. Do I have a laptop? Yes, I do. Can I go home and record a podcast at home? Absolutely, I can. But the thing is, when I think of my day and the time that I have during my day, a lot of the time, the availability for me to create content is when I'm also driving. I drive a lot. I have to commute, okay? Because this, as of right now, is a passion project. And I wouldn't even really call this a passion project. Yes, I've made sales this year. So yes, it is a business. Is it something that I want the business to be at the level that it is? Not yet, but I know it will be very soon. And so I'm still working a 9 to 5. And we're going to get into another episode to fucking really make it absolutely okay to talk about how people do still have 9 to 5s when they're building their online business, because that is okay and it shouldn't be looked down on like it is currently in the space. That's another episode for another day though. But my point is, I have to commute down over an hour sometimes to get to where I need to go, to drop Penelope off where she needs to be so that she has coverage and care for the day. And then I also have to drive close to an hour back with traffic in both directions, because that's just my life right now. And so that means that a lot of the time I'm in the car, I'm driving, and I can sit here like I have for majority of the last 3 months, and I can listen to everybody and their mother's podcast, or I could take the time, I could open my voice memo app on my phone, and I can record a podcast episode like I'm doing right now. There's a difference between consuming and creating content. And what I'm doing right now by sharing that story, by sharing these beliefs, by sharing these perspectives and what the hell is actually going on in my life and in my business, is I'm showing you that there absolutely is 100% it's just what you say you don't have enough time to create content. I'm discrediting it entirely, because you do. What you are doing is you are taking the easy way out because you don't want to necessarily create content, because that would mean you have to contribute your opinion. You have to contribute your perspective. You have to contribute something that is bigger than what you are currently going through right now. And it doesn't make you feel comfortable. And so that's why you're not doing it, because you aren't looking for that overnight success that you know that you're actually capable of getting, because that would be scary. That would be fucking terrifying. And it's much easier for you to sit here and consume what other people have to say and to do what they are telling you than to actually buck up the strength and the courage enough to create and put stuff out there as a thought leader yourself. So you literally just heard me put my car in park and unbuckle my seatbelt, okay? There is so much to say that you can absolutely create the time to start creating. And you're ultimately choosing not to. And it's so easy to consume. It's so easy to go onto a platform and just start scrolling and doom scrolling. You're saying to yourself, you're justifying it by saying, oh, well, I'm looking for inspiration, and oh, well, I need something to respond to, or I need to think of a topic that I can talk about today. And you want to know what? That's fucking bullshit. Trust me, I've been there, fucking done that. And that is big BS. Baloney shark. We don't, it's just, that is such a lie that you're telling yourself. It is not going to give you inspiration. You're going to find yourself over an hour later being like, what the hell did I just do? How did I lose all of this time? What productivity has this served? Like, what purpose has this served? And where is this getting me? Like, where is this really getting me? And then you're going to say to yourself after that happens, why am I even trying at this online business stuff? I'm not even getting any place. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not getting the results that I want to have. And it's because you're not taking the actions. You're not taking the steps. You're not doing the things. You're getting distracted. You're allowing yourself to get distracted. And sure, we could chalk it up to ADHD, but I've seen plenty of 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs talk about how they have ADHD or ADD and they are making the money that they're making. And you want to know what? It's not because they're on meds. It's because they're actually taking control over what it is that they are looking to do and what results they want to have. So ask yourself this question. What's the result that you want to have? Is it a 6-figure year? Is it a 6-figure month? Is it a 7-figure year? Is it a 7-figure day? Ask yourself that question. Answer the question. And then ask yourself, what does that require of me? And that's going to be the part that gets you really fucking uncomfortable. You're going to be like, oh, well, that requires me to give this up, or to make this a priority, or to like create when I'm driving, or to do this, or to say these kinds of things, or just talk about these kinds of beliefs. And that, I promise you, is going to be where the transformation starts to come in. Because when you start to make the podcast, when you're taking the time to drive back and forth between your 9 to 5, when you start taking the time to upload and post everything because you're in debt and you don't have the finances right now to be able to outsource it to a VA, even if it's $4 an hour in the Philippines, and you have a little one and is very demanding under the age of 2, that you're like, how in the name of God am I going to do all this? And you manage to find the time to do all of this shit when you put her down to sleep, or you put him down to sleep for the end of the night. That's when you're going to be like, holy fucking shit. It's happening. It's getting real. And that's when people are going to be like coming into your realm. They're going to be like, how the fuck are you doing this? And how are you, like, how can you help me? Tell me more. And it's because you're digging in deeper than these shallow, oh, well, I don't have the time to create. If I had the time to create, then none of this would be an issue. Actually, if you just took the time to create, none of this would be an issue. But that's just my perspective. So today's episode is a little short. It's a little bit of a, 1-2 punch, but it's necessary sometimes. You have plenty of time to create. 9 times out of 10, you're consuming. And you gotta cut the doom scroll. You gotta cut the rabbit hole before it takes you down any further. So do yourself a favor, cut the rabbit hole, answer those questions for yourself, and do the fucking thing. Do the actions, take the actions, create the content that is going to move the needle in your business, because that is what is going to help you create results. Now, I just want to cover quickly that the content code is going to be starting up very, very soon. If it's something that you have been looking at for quite a while, I've been talking about it in my stories, then be sure to sign up, because the content code will be starting in August of this year. This is being recorded July of 2023. Content code is going to be started up in August of 2023. I don't know if I'm going to offer the content code again, in all honesty. I really have been thinking up and cooking up a whole big new membership that I have literally just been dreaming of doing for the last 2 years. And I think I'm just going to be focusing on that if the content code goes sideways, which it has gone sideways slightly, not the way that I anticipated. Not that that's, something I want to cover in this episode. That's definitely a different episode for a different day. But The content code is essentially everything that I have created in a framework called the Code Framework to get my following from 27 followers on TikTok to over 103,000 followers on one profile and another profile over 15,000 followers on the other one, leading to landing multiple 8-figure clients, leading to selling over 1,500 digital downloads, making over $3,000 in a month from a $2 digital product, and also overselling my group program in 2021, the Code Collective. That program also used the Code Framework to help entrepreneurs build the foundation in their business. So the content code is going to be available until probably the end of August of 2023. If that's something you're like, hell fucking yeah, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll put my link for my Instagram down below. Also, if you have not yet heard, because I've only been talking about it on every single podcast episode that I've recorded thus far, I am giving away a goodie bag to the first 50 listeners who leave a review on my podcast. If you leave a review and take a screenshot of it and share it on Instagram and you tag me, then I will absolutely reach out to you to get your information so that you can get this goodie bag. There are only 50 goodie bags. There are not going to be any more after those 50. So be sure to get it in the first 50 reviews, okay? So that you can get all the goods, because you know that like having a place where you can have your thoughts organized and like your action items listed out like a fucking dream would make your life a hell of a lot easier. So just leave a review, screenshot it, tag me, and put it up on Instagram. It is pouring rain. I'm sure you can hear it coming down on the top of my car. I have to go get my daughter. And so I'm just going to wrap this episode. Okay, bye.